Backbush TV, like and subscribe, and welcome back to another vlog, another video. And today we are gonna just jump in this and go and watch and go and listen to that debate here, how the man them debate after Melissa. We see the government no really try to do nothing much. The man I say, yo, that party I try to do something back in the days. So Backbush TV, like and subscribe. But we just go and listen to that debate here, hear what really are going about Melissa. What really take place? Go in
The
ahead.
time done. Let me tell you something, brother.
No problem.
Hold on,
One load of
Mr. Blair.
nonsense.
Hold on, Mr. Blair. Big man, let me tell you something. First of all, it seems like you don't understand what the debt is all about. Because you don't know how much money Jamaica hold.
Not to watch your time.
Yeah, you're talking about the government pay down money. The government no pay down no money from nowhere. No money from the government is only pay the interest of the money that they borrow from 2016 until today. The government is not paying no money at all on the debt, nothing at all. Jamaica owe more money more when Andrew Holness take the power in 2016. Jamaica owe more money now more than ever in Jamaica. In the history of Jamaica, this is the only time in the history of Jamaica ever owe the most money in Jamaica. In 1995, the government, the PNP government paid on the in 1995 the government paid down the debt and what the world PNP time we pay IMF off in 1995. Not even 1 cent we no owe IMF in 1995. So I would just come out of a hurricane in 88. We are in Siaga, they have the power in 88 and give Michael Manley power in 89 when the country was broke, have no money. Because when Michael Manley get the country didn't have 1 cent in it. So when you're talking about Andrew Holness paying down debt, you don't know what you're talking about. In Jamaica, in a history of Jamaica, this is the only time people are suffer and can't buy food, can't have nowhere to live. Everything with Andrew Holness is one of the liarest prime minister I ever seen in my life. Me never know say a man can't be a head of state and so lie. The man lie, like in guy in bed at night and got practice to come and tell the people them pure lie. That's all I know this man do. Tell the Jamaican people them lie on top of lie. Everything when talk with them out, you have to listen good if I shoot him attack because it's straight lie. And the people them, even the minister of ministry they may have in a portfolio. All of them, poor box woman, no have no sense. The other day, the man asked her some question, she can't even answer. She don't have no numbers. She don't. These people that she have in a ministry don't have no knowledge. That's why I call them. That's why I call them fully dunce. Because even the Minister of Finance, that old woman, the reason why I get that old woman there, because I know say she fully dunce. You know, she say she fully dunce. You never see what go on the other day. When the man asks her some question and she can't answer, she have to turn to the black girl and I say to her, when we tell him say, a Minister of Finance, I know, and him have somebody behind his arm for ask her what's going on. Because the whole of them is fully dunce. Look on the PNP side, you see, I be intelligent people. Be a real intelligent people.
Can I interject?
Also, can I give me 15 seconds for about him?
No,
Anyone of you 15 seconds to respond to something what I say.
No, before anyone of you interject, let me explain. Yeah, man, just an interjection. 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
In 2016, Jamaica debt was $1.9 trillion. In 2024, Jamaican debt grew to $2.2 trillion. And the government is planning to borrow $1 trillion now for Melissa repairs. So the debt is actually going up. That is exactly what Lato said a while ago.
All right. So one of the as it relates to the debt, we also need to be very careful how we play around with this debt figure, because the debt is in international U.S. currency. So let us say you got the debt was say in 2013 X amount. You have to compare to the rate of the US dollar at that point in time as opposed to what it is today. You understand me? Because the dollar has depreciated over a period of time, and that would make the international debt side of the equation higher. When truth and in fact, you never necessarily had to borrow more monies, but on a scenario that because the dollar has devalued, your debt has seemed higher. As it relates to Lotto, and I'm talking about pay down interest and whatever. According to the international standards of how them deal with on money payback and them say GDP and whatever, it is showing from the international standard that it is going down. So I don't know where you get your figures from or where you get your information from. It is not consistent with international standards. That's all I can say to you about that, right? A lot of things that you speak of is a lot of things that speak of feelings and the past and the past. Come with the facts. Come with straight facts.
This facts I'm telling you, guy.
Beg your 15 seconds. When you speak of higher interest rate, way more than what IMF was charging Jamaica, and use it to pay down the IMF debt and left Jamaica in a higher debt that lead us to FinSac, the high interest rate, or them have to use to govern that. So when you talk about PG and whatever, you don't have a clue what you talk about, brother.
Hold on, you get 5
That is the problem at
seconds,
Jamaica.
give me 5. You get 10 seconds, give me 5 seconds. PJ, Phil, and Bill. Andrew Holness, I never do window. But I want to tell you, PJ, Phil, and Bill. Check with your Prime Minister though. A 64 school. PJ Patterson Bill. 64 school. How much your Prime Minister Bill? Zero.
Alright, that's some mass. Sablier, that's something. Sablier.
Okay.
3 minutes.
You see, we tend to want to go back to blame PJ. But PJ have the distinction of the only Prime Minister to pay off the debt to the IMF. The debt to the IMF. They went back to IMF in 2010. Right? So the albatross around Jamaica head, where IMF is concerned, was created by Bruce Golding. When them get 13 IMF tests we pass, and them only pass one, and abandon the other 12, and crash the financial market. And it is Sister P and Peter Phillips who have to rescue the market by having the agreement with the IMF, but by legislation which created the fiscal policies. And that is the only time Jamaica was unable to borrow money on the international market. Bruce Golding administration and Ardley Chaw as the Minister of Finance.
All right. We're in 2025.
All right, Os, I'm not a unruly person, you know. So I have to respond to Mr. Blair.
No, make oral go on.
Mr. Blair, when you just say the JLP couldn't pass IMF tests, you know what caused that? Pure politics. Because when the PMP in the office, they have the civil servant and wage freeze upon wage freeze upon wage freeze, and them agree to it because they're party in power. When the JLP come to office 2007, all of a sudden everybody want 15 and 20%, right? And because they're listening and the caring of the JLP government, them obliged by giving them that. That is a thing that the government and the IMF followed for, because the IMF never want that. The IMF want the JLP to cut the public sector and continue with the wage freeze. So when you talk about past IMF tests, after IMF tests and the what you call it now, the backs of the Jamaican people. If Bruce Golding did follow what the IMF want, we'd have job loss right through the entire public sector in Jamaica. So when you speak, you must put things in a context, brother. Rest my case.
But oral. The government of Bruce Golding and Arthur Shaw passed the 13 IMF tests or took the 13 IMF tests? Yes or no?
Took no IMF test. Them do what they have to do for the country at the time.
Okay, thanks.
Let's write this up.
Them do what they have to do for the country.
Yeah. Basically, in that period, I was there during that period of time.
What up the screen?
Yeah, I was there during that period of time, and it had come to it reached a point. It reached a point where pass the IMF tests and send people home. That should have created more problems across the country. But what you must also understand, we must understand that each government, each administration contributed some way, somehow to the country. And as you have said, Portia and Phillips put in the legislation and whatever. But the JLP has built on it.
A point of
and supercharged it.
Okay.
Right? And supercharge whatever was built and is going forward with it, and it's benefiting people across the country. You speak of PJ Patterson as a builder. I find him more of a private builder because in the constituency of Westmoreland, if he during his time, if he had taken the steps to make these individuals in the Westmoreland area and Hanover area own them land.
Hold on. Emirates, before you get to Westmoreland, you said just now about how if Bruce Golding had followed the IMF, there would be mass layoff. How is it that Portia and Peter followed the IMF and there was a mass layoff? Okay. So Portia and Peter Phillips was more responsible because, like you said, them Bruce Golding and Earlishaw gave workers 15 to how much percent raise when them couldn't afford it, right? And so therefore they faltered on the loan. And you said if they had followed the IMF, but they knew what was in that loan before them signed the agreement.
No,
right?
But do you recall how the nurses behave? You remember that? I don't know if she's still alive. There was a nurse. She was very adamant that she wanted her razor pay.
So
a lot of different.
One nurse asked them to falter the IMF test?
No, but the case is this. You have probably 250,000 public sector workers. The IMF was saying you need to cut, like probably say 25% of that.
Right.
And during that hold on. During that period of time, we were coming from wage freezes,
Right, but when
under the PMP. Hold on. We were coming from wage.
When Portia put in back the freeze, did the nurse where you talking about, did she go crazy again?
I think she was not the person who was at the head of the nurses.
Don't you see, since this government coming up, all I teach and all the nurses them run away to America and Canada and all over the world.
They have been running away to America. They have been running away to Canada and America long before.
No.
They have always been leaving.
No.
Yeah. Not on the volume.
This government, what I call them. This government here hiring pay some people when don't have no knowledge of doctoring, no knowledge of no experience of doctoring.
No, that is not truthful.
Listen, my brother. All I doctor them in Jamaica is some apprentice from Bangladesh.
That is not truthful. That is
South
not
America,
truthful.
from India, who have no experience of doctoring.
That is not truthful.
My brother,
they have to pass. They don't pass
nothing when you come to Jamaica. Nothing you don't pass.
You don't live in Jamaica.
So me hear you not talk, especially the one with name one. Me hear you talk about the wage freeze, but why you never talk about what caused the wage freeze? Wasn't there a hurricane in 2004 where it damaged Jamaica? I don't remember that. You don't remember? I don't.
Clarify it,
so there's no clarification. There was a hurricane. Everybody know that. Ivan.
What was the name of the hurricane? Yeah, give me the
Ivan.
name of the hurricane.
So,
Yeah.
Ivan, you have to listen. So the next thing is this now, right?
Wage freeze are from the 90s. So when you talk
No,
about
no, no, no,
Ivan,
that's a lie.
that's a friend of the
That is
90s.
a
We have
lie.
wage freeze.
That no, 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 that's a lie.
Oral, mute the mic.
You
Mute
are
the mic,
lying now. You
please.
are lying now. You are lying now. 2004 it start, right? 2005 or something after some. The next thing is this now. In the 80s.
Should we expect a
No, no,
wage
well,
freeze
I'm
now
not,
after
I'm
the
not done
massive
yet. No,
hurricane ever hit Jamaica?
I'm not done yet.
Should we
General, I'm
expect a
not done
wage
yet.
freeze now? That's what I ask.
Big man. Well,
Oral, mute the mic and make the man talk, you can man.
before the hurricane did come, there was actually a wage freeze on the table. 0% increase for the people, which is also a wage freeze because you don't get no increase. The JLP did propose that before them to come in a power again. I don't know what the agreement now, but they did. So, in the 80s, you have to remember, say, in field, I remember in the 80s, in field, the administration feel how much IMF test too. And I think a PJ that passed the whole of them IMF tests there in the 90s. So we have a track record of always failing IMF test. So when we not talk about growth and who do this and who do that. When we not talk about who grow from who not grow and all these kind of things. You have to remember all of these things, you know. PJ, I think Siaga borrowed the most loan. And he never pay IMF test. He never passed IMF yet. As a matter of fact, he was the finance minister and also the prime minister. In 2004, we have a hurricane Ivan with the damage Jamaica. You understand? And being the party that there is, them not really like the IMF because IMF try to dictate. Them not really like we call it go IMF because IMF is like a debt trap. So most people don't really like to go there so. And you always want to go there so. You get to me and say, and the man try to do it in a diplomatic way wherein him try not to go there so. By probably just capping the wage for a little, put the country back on track. And then now when they get back the country back on track, now everybody get back them normal salary. Which in, I don't see nothing wrong with that. You understand what I say? Instead of put the country in a debt with one country, we're going to tell you, say, if you lay off this amount of people, or don't build no school, or don't fix up the hospital, because when you take these IMF loan, it comes with conditions. You understand what I say? And me respect PJ for do that. For we can do what we want to do in our country, and nobody else come and tell we what we supposed to do in our own country. And that is the difference between PJ Patterson. He was really a leader. Andrew Willis is a dictator. He might take orders. That are the two differences, the two leaders them right now. But just talk about the issues them will arise will lead to the circumstances. Because everything have a reaction.
It's rather foolish to compare Andrew to PJ. It's rather foolish. You see? There is no comparison, Andrew to PJ.
None at all.
Andrew has not done anything in the 12 years that PJ has not done in 2 years. You see? So Andrew cannot compare himself to PJ. The only thing that Andrew can compare himself to PJ is benefiting from the things that PJ has started or PJ implemented.
I tend to disagree with your statement.
Yeah, and enrich himself.
Right. Tell me how you disagree now. Tell me
I would disagree with your statement.
What part you disagree with? Go ahead.
I said I disagree with your statement in the fact of you speaking.
Tell me what part you disagree.
I'm coming to that point. You're saying that you cannot compare Andrew Holness to PJ Patterson. To an extent, you might have a point there. But for me, as it relates to PJ Patterson and Andrew Holness, as it relates to the administration of this country, I find that Andrew's administration is doing a better job on a whole in comparison to what Mr. Patterson did in his time.
And the finance minister can count.
Yeah, define doing a better job.
The
Define that.
finance minister cannot
Yeah,
count.
man, yeah, man. Well, on that.
What do you mean by the finance minister cannot count? I'm not quite understanding that.
No, it's all right.
Don't pay attention to that, man. Elaborate.
Don't pay attention. Yeah, man.
No,
Just define Anjo against PJ. Define it.
As I can speak of it from a salaries point of view. Whose rate is singing that in the background?
Mr. Blair.
Tell me, compare them and tell me, explain to me how Anjo administration better. In what ministry?
But the man just say a while ago say Anjo sell out the whole country to private investor, because everything that done in Jamaica today is private investor. The government don't do nothing. Everything that you see in Jamaica.
But that was also being done under PJ Patterson's administration.
Never.
That was also being done.
All right. Hold on. The one where PJ Patterson sell out.
That was also being done under his administration.
Yeah, but just name me where PJ Patterson sell.
I'd have to go research that because that's a very long time. I do not dwell in the past.
No, but you can't talk about something where you're not a facts, brother.
So tell me the facts of the things he had not sold.
Well, brother, are you raise a party?
No, but the kid. Listen, all right. What about JPS?
Okay, so JPS is sold, right?
Was JPS sold under the JLP or under the PMP?
Hold on. Was JPS sold or was it leased? Which one?
No, I'm asking.
No, me ask you. When somebody sells something, you can't get it back, you know.
From my understanding and my reading, JPS was sold under the People's National Party. The first person who got it was Miran. How can a person sell another person? It's a prostitution you're talking of?
You don't know Norman Manley International Airport where you take a flag off.
You said Norman Manley, you never said the airport.
Then I must the airport me I talk about.
I never know that you were talking about the airport.
Yeah. So at the airport me I talk about. So that was sold by Andrew, right?
The jail, I think it was on the Bruce Golding side. I was it on the
No. 2019. You see, you don't know that.
2018, brother.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, 2018 was sold. Why was it sold?
Why? So you never asked me why JPS to sell?
No, but it was sold.
We don't want to know why. We just want to know what sell.
It was sold.
Come in now. Port Authority Jamaica. Wow. Yeah. Kingston Wharf. Who sell it out?
It was to get investment to improve the infrastructure.
And Andrew only sell Wharf.
Because the government never have the money. The government never have the money.
1 second, guys. Can I interject here?
First of all, the airport is not sold.
Hold on first, common sense. Hold on first.
Yeah, because me need to say something.
Investors in Jamaica, right?
That's my recollection.
So you have an explanation for Andrew only selling out Jamaica, but you not none for PG sell out Jamaica? I sell when
I understand that from the point of JPS, they needed investors because the grid was going down. So they got Miran to purchase it.
Let me help. Ernie, let me help.
Well, on common sense, so they were bankrupt.
Come on, say you can't come take over the conversation.
Yeah, nobody bore you in the yard. Yeah, they're bankrupt, right? Right?
Emery, go ahead, Emery.
He said it was bankrupt. You're saying it was bankrupt, correct?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah.
Let me tell you the things that PGSL. PGSL, JPS, Flour Mill.
Give common sense to talk here, bro. Give common sense to talk.
Those are the three things which were sold under the People's National Party government. 75% of the Jamaican asset was sold by the JLP. Mr. Siaga sold a lot of things Jamaica owned when he came to power in the 1980. Bruce Golding sold out the whole of the sugar factory and Air Jamaica.
Why was
And
that
Andrew
sold?
Holness sell the wharf.
Why was the sugar company sold and why was the airport sold?
Answer Caution why JPS was sold. Let me answer
I
you.
understand it was bankrupt. It was going bankrupt.
It is not correct then for anyone to come up here and say that PJ sell off Jamaica. The studies show that 75% of all state-owned assets sold in Jamaica was sold under JLP government.
But
25% was.
But
25% was.
Throw it out in the garbage. And PJ Patterson bring back the JUTC bus in Jamaica right now, where you guys are travel pan and go anywhere you don't want to go, is PJ Patterson bring it back into Jamaica.
The same one with the school bus them commander.
All right, guys, give me a talk now. Evening, everybody.
Evening,
Good evening.
Yeah, let me tell you something, guys. Wanna try don't make the mistake and mix up and I call up Holness name with PJ Patterson. There's no comparison. PJ was an absolute failure and a disgrace for Jamaica. So I'm try make the comparison.
No. If I don't underline the you go come without
no, all right.
Because Holness is more of a disgrace to Jamaica than PJ. Because PJ Patterson has never been investigated for illicit enrichment. And PJ Patterson is never under investigation for illicit enrichment.
You Blair.
So put on close for your argument.
You Blair.
Put on close for your argument.
You let me put on close now. Let me put on let me put on close. Let me put on close now. And
the infrastructural development of this country was built by PJ Patterson. Built by PJ Patterson. The housing infrastructure, right? The road infrastructure, the school infrastructure, the modernization of Jamaica was done by PJ Patterson.
I would prefer to say start. I would say prefer to say start.
Nobody can take. Because
but does it make sense to build school when you have less children being born?
Necessary.
Does it make sense?
Give me a chance, guys. Let me give me a chance. Give me a chance. Make we talk about PJ. Now, under PJ, Jamaica lost 40% of its GDP. Under PJ, the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich happens under PJ. You guys bragging about PJ. Let's me know. You guys bragging about PJ paying off IMF. What PJ did was went on the open market, borrow high interest rate money to pay off low interest rate on the IMF, only because with the IMF dictate condition how the money is spent. And by doing that, he created a financial crime against the people of Jamaica. Because